You're live, Dan.
We're happening. It's all happening.
And we've got audio.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. Let's get this in the middle here.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, people.
Quite a warm colour balance today, Dan.
What was that?
What is that?
Hang on. Oh no, that's this. Sorry. Far out, man.
You came within 2 meters of me then, Dan.
Sorry. Yes, I did.
Welcome, everybody.
There we go. Yes, it's all happening. Yeah. Hey guys, how are we all?
We're in the game?
Boy. We're in the game.
Every week.
Is this thing on? Tap, tap, tap.
We're in the game.
Loud and clear. Awesome. All happening. Wow.
Nice.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Daniel. As you can see, good people, we are once again in the same room. Oh, I'm not very happy with that framing.
Ted Ired. Hi, DNM. I'm knackered, to be honest, but happy to see you both. We know how you feel, Ted.
Yeah.
I'm emotionally drained.
Yes. It has been emotionally draining, hasn't
Oh,
it,
man.
Daniel?
Yeah.
The whole experience.
Yep.
I think... Let's just make sure we're good there. Are we good there? Yeah.
Zachariah Birdwell says, hey, guys, did you get your Creepy Fingers Fuzz yet? It's on the way, hopefully in the next couple of days, because I really, really want to get it.
Greetings! Finally, we are in the same room again.
Hurrah!
Regular viewers will know that on Friday we put out our first show that we filmed together again with the plexi screen between us. Because we can't physically sit 2 meters apart, we thought it would be the right thing to have... that's the problem. That's the problem, Dan.
What's the problem?
The back light's on. I couldn't work out...
I see. There we go. And on the fourth day...
Yeah, I mean, it probably hasn't changed very much, but it is horrible, that backlight. Yes, it has been pointed out to us that this is probably pointless in an enclosed space.
Okay.
But I can't actually spit on you from here.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, it's nice that doesn't happen for once. So used to...
It's great to be back in the same room, mate. I'm not talking to a T-shirt on a PA cabinet.
I did think today to have that set up and actually just have me stuck through it.
So Curtis Richards says, hi from Tampa, Florida. Hello from Iowa, USA, says John A. Hi from Paris, France, says Chuck Wood. Silver City, Nevada, Yellow Truck Productions.
Nice. Tony Ambrosi, thank you, mate.
Mark Lavinish, missed you guys last week. So glad you're back. Yeah, we were going to do it last week, but the internet went down here.
Yep. What was it you said? The revolution will not be
on the internet. No. Although, yeah. Anyway, how did you get through all those references to Dan's town in the descriptions for Q&A without using Swin City? Says KJ Photo. It would have been soon enough, wouldn't it? We had Swin Vegas, Swokio, some others.
Oh boy.
Joe Wright, welcome back from Simi Valley, California, Pennsylvania. Cass and John Boles.
Asa Martin from Silver City, New Mexico, checking in too.
Ty Roberts from Colombia. Wow.
Yeah.
Michael Easter from Canada.
This is amazing.
Well, this is really international affair, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Matt Wright says, hi Dan, have you seen the lockdown videos from Neil Finn and his family? I've never listened to him much before, just brilliant. Yes, I have. I don't think I've missed one yet. They are just glorious. Yes.
And the Finn family band.
Oh man, so good.
Sharon Elroy.
Yep. So Neil, Sharon, Elroy, and it's on the pedal. Hang on. Liam. Of course, Liam.
Of course, Liam.
Forget Liam.
Simon, who you will know from editing and cameraing for that pedal show, has bought his wife a Duesenberg bass.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool,
Yeah.
orange, and I think he's looking ahead to the Whitehead family band.
Okay. Yes, because
His two boys.
Lowen for his birthday just got a uke.
Yeah,
Very
Simon's
cool.
son Lowen. It was his birthday yesterday. It's Catherine's birthday today.
It is Catherine's birthday.
Let's
today.
wish Catherine a very happy birthday publicly.
Yes.
If you've ever bought anything from that pedal show store, chances are Catherine has lovingly packed it and sent it out to you. And not only that, kind of organises me and Dan in a way that makes us not die.
Yes. Couldn't be said in a better way.
And me on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely keeps me alive. John Newquist, $10. Thank you very much from Sonoma
thank you,
County,
John.
California. Sonoma. Oh, that really does make me want a glass of Pinot Noir, Dan.
Mate.
Some of those Californian Pinots.
Yeah. I've had to make a real concerted effort to cut back, only for the weekends.
Yeah.
The weekend ends on a Monday, starts on a Wednesday night. So Tuesday, definitely cut right back.
Runehost. Hi, Runehost. It says, odd question. The white black wall clock that you have, what model and brand is it? After all, it is some kind of gear, says Runehost. It's from I think Habitat is a British brand, but it may well have its origins in Scandinavia. Anyway, Habitat is the brand. Used to be a big sort of home furnishings brand in the UK. Went bust, I think. Got bought out by B&Q or something inglorious like that.
Okay.
Bought out by somebody anyway. Habitat is the name, and it's one of their wall clocks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There we go. Someone's mentioned Homeschooling series by Tom Bukovac. Unmissable. Totally. We're all enamoured with Tom.
Totally. I've got a lot of catching up to do.
Have you?
Yes, I watched quite a lot, and then I stopped watching because everything just got busy again, and I promised myself I'm going to do a bulk binge.
He's gone back to the studio now.
Has he?
And he's just done a little thing from the studio.
Oh, man.
And just to see their worlds, their little setups, it's unreal.
Oh, I need to.
Tom, I do need to have a
catch
chat to you about your pedal board, mate. So, yeah.
Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be reaching out soon.
Yeah. Ted, okay, boys, have you seen the new Squire Paranormal series? I haven't. For some of you may know, I used to be a guitar journalist, and I worked on various magazines over the years. And so I used to get everything and all the press and everything. So I used to be across everything, and now I've recently realised I'm sort of across nothing.
Okay.
I have no idea what Fender and Gibson are doing anymore.
Right.
So need to probably put some work back in there, I think. Squire Paranormal.
Well, this is interesting. Thomas K says, what are the tools you mostly use to make humbuckers sound more open and brighter? Single coils.
Vintage style PAFs.
Vintage style PAFs. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, they look cool. Oh, they've done the Supersonic again. Wow.
Yeah, they look really cool.
And they've done a Cabronita. That's
Yep.
really cool.
Yep. F-hole Cabronita.
Yeah.
Yeah, works great.
With a Jazzmaster pickup by the looks of things.
Yeah, right. It is too.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, they look great.
They look
They look
very,
really
very
great.
cool.
Tony Brooks. Hi, Tony. Nice to see you here, as always. David Burke says, the best era of Guitarist magazine was under your editorship, Mick. Just saying. Thanks.
Totally agree.
Thanks, David. I don't know. I think it's hard to beat that very late 80s, early 90s period. That was when it was, and it's pretty good now, to be fair.
Mm.
But yeah, magazines.
I
God,
think
what a funny thing.
Yeah.
The Rob Show Inc. Greetings from Florida, USA. Oh yeah, we just had that one.
Mm-hmm.
I should concentrate.
No, there's a different one. On the humbucker pickups, what's the closest humbucker pickup that sounds like a single coil? Never heard one that sounds like a single coil.
Tell you what's interesting though, when you grow up and you finally realise what a vintage Les Paul sounds like, it's happened embarrassingly late in life for me, because I thought all those Les Pauls that were made in the 90s sound like Les Pauls, but they don't. They sound like modern rock guitars with the ceramic pickups and the overly heavy bodies, and
Right.
which is a great thing, as part of lots of rockers, really awesome sounds, but really doesn't sound anything like a 58 to 60 burst style guitar. When you hear one of those guitars with the original paths slightly asymmetrically wound, not fully wax potted, the sort of honky mids and the cleanup, especially with the 50s wiring again, there's times it could be a telly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, vintage PAFs all the way down the line. Funnily enough, there's a vlog coming tomorrow. It's out there, but regular viewers will know I have a PRS Gold Top McCarthy soap bar, and I've been wanting to change the pickups in that guitar for forever. Finally done it, and it's made the world of difference.
It's incredible. It's like, for me, one of your best vlogs ever. It's so interesting. And shot beautifully as always, but yes, great.
But it's gone from like having this 12.5K overwound P90, which never sounded good in my opinion, to like an 8.5K or 9K. Still a little bit hot for me, but anyway, if we're going straight by DC resistance, Lola, and it just sounds. I think it sounds way better.
The difference is incredible, and so Mick plays it in the clip, and you hear them side by side, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you, mate.
KJ Photo says, I'm still dying to know what's up with Dan's space bar. So for anyone that saw it, I was showing the
It looks good.
I'll show you in a minute. You see there's a massive ding right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I go to type something, right, if I hit on the sides, it doesn't work. I've got to hit it right in the center. So
precision spacing.
Yeah. So it does work, but it's a shadow of what it used to be. So I do need to have that look at. But thank you very much, KJ Photo, for asking. I appreciate the concern.
Actually, I have to ask you, Dan, on your attire today, hot
like
up top, cool down the bottom?
Yeah, that's the one, because I now see my knees on the show, like loud and proud. Yes,
It's working.
You like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I like it.
Okay.
It's kind of surfy. These are for sale in that pedal show store, by the way, these lovely hoodies. Henrik Viking from Sweden says, you bring joy. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That's very kind of you to say, Henrik. Willie M415. Thank you, Willie, for that. That's very, very generous of you, sir. And we should also say thank you to BV Ninja for moderating today.
Yes, thank you,
and
BV.
always.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, does an amazing job, and we're very grateful for him to have him doing that. So,
Joe Wilson says, hey, Mick, how's the beard coming along? I think it looks fantastic. I'm really pleased.
I thank you for your compliment, Dan.
I think my beard game.
I think fantastic might be an overstatement, but I like it, and I'm going to keep it.
That's great.
Thanks,
That's really
man.
good.
Yeah, it's a bit, I ain't got much around here, but it's fine.
See, it used to be my thing. Your
Up there.
coif used to be your thing. Now you've taken my thing as well.
No.
And I'm becoming.
That's a proper man's beard.
Yeah, right. No, but it looks very good.
Thanks, mate.
I'm not seeing the ginger.
Simon put an extra special grade on the video.
Did he?
To make sure it looks ginger. I've discovered it does look a bit ginger in some lights, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
That's okay. Blinkenette, Chris Groom. Thank you, mate. That's more than generous. Thank you so much. It says, hi, Dan. Hi, Mick. Here's a donation for doing the Keyworker pedal board. Really nice gesture. Chris, that's very kind, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, so we didn't do a live stream last week, but the Friday show, in case you hadn't seen it, Mick and I did some pedal boards and gave some pedals to some key workers. That all came about because I was stood outside my house clapping for the NHS and feeling a bit useless, to be honest. And we built a couple of boards for some people just doing some really cool things.
Yeah, just doing some stuff. Yeah, it was good fun. It was what I've enjoyed about it was getting into the head of somebody else, because it was. I mean, you did a bass one, so clearly that was a long way outside of your comfort zone.
Unreal.
And the guy I built the board for, whose name was in my head and has now escaped me. He had a very Irish-sounding name, and it was Patrick Brady.
That's right, Patrick. It was P.
Patrick's favourite guitar player was... I'm doing you today, Dan.
But having brain farts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, brain does not work. Played guitar on the third David Lee Roth album.
Jason Becker.
Jason Becker, thank you, mate.
You're welcome. Glad I could be there for you.
That was an amazing about. It's because I'm trying to think of 8 things at once. Anyway, Jason Becker, you know, unbelievable hard rock guitar player, and so there I am playing the Yellow Gem with an MI Audio Crunch box.
Yeah, it's
and
killer.
going, wow, this is a really different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It doesn't come naturally.
And then when you hear him playing it in the clip, it's really, really cool.
His sound was better than any of the sounds I got.
But you could see, because that's his world.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah, it's really
Awesome.
cool.
Glad he liked
so
it.
interesting.
Thomas Neeson, thank you, Thomas, for that. Thomas says, it's been a tough few months, it still is, to be honest, but you guys make me smile, and I can't say thanks enough. Yeah, it has been tough, actually. We both had tough weeks, haven't we, over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, anyone that follows me on Facebook would see that I just put a post up today saying that I need a break. I'm just not engaging with Facebook for the week. Just to have a breath, just to catch my breath.
Do you find engaging a lot with social media puts you in a bad place then?
I find at the moment, how can I say this?
Yeah.
My heart feels weary,
Yeah.
and I just feel
There hasn't been a lot of love and good news, has there?
no, and I just need, you know, but I think it's important to be informed and see everything that's going on, especially in our world where there's so much happening. There's things happening everywhere. But you know, everything's going on in the music industry, but it is wearing, and I just need to catch my breath. That's all.
I think in years to come, we'll look back on this period of history as relates specifically to social media usage and see it as dangerous as smoking, drinking, drug taking.
Totally.
I think it will be looked back in time, and just as people are restricting their kids' access to social media now, so adults will know to restrict their. I mean, all very well for us to say, isn't it? We live on social media via YouTube, but yes, Thomas, it has been tough, and please don't feel alone in that. Because I think
and that's to go to everyone.
I would
right
also say that as COVID is starting to ease, I mean, in some places it's really not easing at all, but as the restrictions start to ease, I think there's a natural expectation that things are just going to go back to normal.
Yeah.
But they're not going back to normal, and everything is twice as hard as it was before, and everything is twice as much heavy lifting. And I think that in itself brings quite a lot of stress to people's lives. You know, just really basic stuff like getting up, going to work, and doing the thing, or not going to work if you're still furloughed and you can't go to work. It's a tough time.
Yeah.
It is a tough time.
What's been great is that people are now coming to understand the importance of like the courier driver.
Yeah.
You know, and people are now coming to understand how vital that person is, how vital the person is that serves you at ASDA.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Collects the trash,
in the
all that
normal
stuff.
world where everything is, we're racing 1,000,000 miles an hour just to keep our heads afloat. And it's so easy to let all those things that are, you know, people are part of this process.
Yeah.
And I think if there are a few silver linings or a few things to take away from this, one of that is I've certainly reassessed my appreciation of these people and the absolute vital role that they play in just keeping the wheels turning around.
Just take them slightly less for granted, isn't it?
Yeah, it's important stuff.
Yeah. Martin Josephson says, "Hi guys, I'm very happy to spend my time with you guys. Great content and great lads." Well, thanks, Martin.
Thank you,
Really
Martin.
appreciate that from Denmark there.
Aidan Endersby says, "Hello chaps, great to see you two in the same room again. You could feel the chemistry between you two. It was great to see you both rocking out." Thank you, mate. I will say that I was sort of a bit emotionally overcome actually getting back into the room of filming again, because I'd been so much in my own headspace, sort of recording at home, you know, with IRs and ISO cabs and studio stuff, and to get in the room with the amps turned up again, it took me a little while
Yeah.
to sort of to engage with it because I was sort of so overcome. And I did mention to you that just the sheer joy of being back here again and just being in our space. Man, it's and again, because we've been doing this for years now, and not missing a show and having that space from it again has sort of re-established my appreciation for what we're able to do.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful to be able to come to do this with you. It's just just amazing stuff.
it is. We're lucky boys. We
are very lucky boys.
Guillaume says, hi all. If Guillaume, I can't see the picture, but if you're Guillaume from Toman, hello mate, nice to talk to you. And if you're not, hello as well. Right, Kevin Stevenson, I'm looking for suggestions for ambient reverbs from some pedal experts like yourselves. I'm not really the best person to ask about that. However, there are two pedals that I've played and seen just recently that I think are fantastic. One is the Source Audio Collider, which is half delay and half reverb.
Epic.
The other, which has just turned up yesterday, is the Rooms by Death by Audio, which is utterly bonkers.
Yeah. For that, it's so interesting when you that atmospheric stuff and being able to, feed lines into each other. So the Devon Townsend, the Ocean Machine by Mua, which is Devon Townsend's pedal. For that sort of atmospheric stuff is amazing. I think they're still making it. I'm not quite sure.
Which one?
The Ocean Machine, the Devon Townsend Ocean Machine.
Yeah, that's amazing. Any of the modern multifunction reverbs, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, the ability to if you can you can get two reverb engines going one into the other is great. But anything that'll give you a long enough decay time, we'll be able to give you those sounds. The other one is the Meris.
Oh yeah. Is it the Enzo?
Yeah.
Is that the reverb?
I think so. But the Meris reverb.
Whichever the Meris reverb.
Just
spectacular fidelity.
My giddy aunt.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But
good.
if that's too complex, the Walrus Audio Fathom is really, really lovely.
Yeah.
Is great. Cosmic KJ makes a really good point. I hate the crap online, but social media is very much a lifeline to us disabled who don't or can't get out so easily. Yeah,
sure.
Of course. And there is a entirely positive way to engage with social media. Family, friends, my wife's mother lives in Greece.
Yeah.
So we FaceTime.
Yeah.
And, how fantastic is that?
It's incredible.
And stay in contact over Facebook and stuff, it's fantastic. But of course. Yeah. Good point, well made. Daniel Webb says, thanks for the advice last time. I didn't go for a 60th anniversary Les Paul or 335. I got a white Les Paul special with P90s coming on Wednesday from Anderton's.
Ooh.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, really cool.
Very nice.
You'll love that.
Like a Kite says, Danny, you're missing your BJJ. So much. It's probably it'll be the last sport to sort of reopen its doors. There's nothing more.
You better just clarify what BJ is.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm also our club. Our coach is great and he's doing sort of online daily sort of sessions where you do sort of solo drills and that sort of stuff. And I also have a PT that I'm working with at the moment, a guy from the club, just to try and keep me engaged as much as I can because I sort of need that. I had 2 weeks off from it doing a bunch of other stuff. Man alive, just the...
Yeah, you went like that.
I really did. I went downhill so rapidly. But yeah, I'm missing it terribly and I cannot wait. Not that anyone watches. Actually, no, there are a couple of guys at the club that watch. So shout out to everyone from Gracie at Swindon.
Quick whip through a few here. Gareth Ware. Hi, Gareth. Mick, do you still like the King Tone Mini Fuzz Germanium? I do, but one thing I've discovered in all the fuzz stuff recently, I just prefer silicon fuzzes.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite to 90% of other humans. So yes. Michael, hey guys. Any chance of a symmetrical versus asymmetrical and hard versus soft clipping show and all combos thereof? This is interesting. Dan and I were discussing areas that skirt around that.
Yes.
It's so fascinating because it's quite hard to demonstrate those things in isolation because they tend to be parts of other circuits. But it is really interesting. I've never really understood symmetrical and asymmetrical clipping
Okay.
and which one I prefer.
Yeah, it is brilliant. I mean, you know what I can do? I can take a super overdrive and just mod it, put a switch in,
Well, let's do that.
just to turn one of the diodes off. You know,
Is that all it is? You've
all
got
it
two
is.
symmetrical diodes,
so
and then
you got two diodes, right?
yeah,
And each diode clips either the positive or the negative part of the waveform.
yeah.
So by turning with them clipping the same, you have symmetrical clipping.
Yeah.
By turning one off and you're only clipping one side of the waveform, you get
Yeah.
asymmetrical clipping, and it's the difference between
Which gives
sort
you
of-
more odd order harmonics.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, it's very different sound, but you know it's really simple mod to do. So yeah, we should do that.
Jacob Rocky Cummins. Hi, Jacob. He says, any plans to demo the new Fender Tone Master amps? It would be interesting to hear what you think of a modelling amp that moves air. When they came out, everyone was super fizzy about them, going, wow, they sound amazing. And then as time's gone on, everyone's gone, actually, no, doesn't really sound like a deluxe reverb. And the thing that I know that people have had the hardest time with is recording them.
Really?
I have a little bit of learning gained through trying to record Neo speakers in the last...
Is that what's in them?
Yeah, pretty sure they got Neo
Okay.
speakers. And those things are hard to record.
Right.
Or at least, let me put it another way, from someone who's used to miking and recording amps with traditional Alnico and ceramic magnet speakers, I struggle like hell to get those Neo things sounding good
Right.
with a mic on them.
Sure.
The ambient sound in the room is usually really good.
Yeah.
And these are all loaded terms, by the way, good and not good. And if you're wondering what that fan is,
No. I'm looking for the JHS Pulp and Peel because I had it on my board till recently. Actually, no, it's at home. Anyway.
so yeah, it would be good to get a listen, but to be entirely grumpy about it, every single time something like that comes out and they say, wow, it sounds amazing, you stick it next to something that really does sound amazing, and it's like, yeah, that's why it's that price point, that's why it's that weight, and they're good, they are good.
Yeah.
But you know, when you have the luxury of
I know.
full-blooded,
And what a luxury.
yeah, it is quite difficult to,
Yeah.
anyway.
Daniel Webb says, thoughts on the
Makes me sound
JHS
bad.
Pulp and Peel, which is, I was just looking for it. It's actually on my board at the moment, and it's really good. I might be swapping it for the new Strymon, because I think
Compadre.
that's the Compadre, which is really, really cool. I really like that. For me, there's two compressors that I love. My old Budbox early 70s Dynacomp and the Origin
Cali 76.
the Cali 76. Those two compressors, I can get all the compression sounds I need from those two pedals.
I'm going to add one to that list, agree with you, and say that the Union Tube and Transistor LA2A type optical
Oh man, yeah, totally.
is really killer as well.
Yeah, totally.
Actually, Simon's got that on his pedal board at the moment. We should
Right.
purloin it back.
Yeah. So you know, there's I'm going to add one more. Which is the Analog Man orange juicer, the orange squeezer one.
Oh yeah, actually, I was going to say if I could only have one compressor for the rest of my life, it would be the Analog Man bicompressor.
Okay. Yes, because it's got both. It's got the Ross
Yeah.
circuit in
Yeah.
and the juicer in.
Yeah.
Now the juicer is the it's their take on the Dan Armstrong orange
Oh yeah,
squeezer
this orange
compressor,
yeah.
which is a whole different thing. It's that Sultans of Swing
Right.
compressor thing, and it has a different. It's amazing. So yeah, they're the four ones. They're my 12 favorite compressors. Yeah.
I mean, we've had this discussion many times. I can't play compressors with the guitar, but I can't live without them for recording.
Yeah, right.
Like in the back end, as it were.
Yep, amazing.
David Burke says, it's a delay, although very weird, but my favourite atmospheric pedal is the Old Blood Noise Endeavours Mondegreen. You don't seem to feature Old Blood Noise Endeavours very often. Not a criticism, I know, because there's so much out there. Yeah, I think we've only ever done one Old Blood Noise Endeavours. It was an oil can delay, and it was great. The Black Fountain, was it?
Oh, yeah.
It was really good.
Okay.
It's so tough, you know. Dan and I were discussing earlier about pedal builders that you should know about, and we should watch those shows as well, because there's so many great pedals out there, and you know, you would think that everyone's queuing up to send pedals to people like me and Dan, but that's not always the case.
No.
Some people just are very happy to sit doing their thing, and
and they got waiting lists and stuff.
Need a couple of goons on the internet playing their pedals.
I love the thing about our industry. You know, there's so many great people, and the amount of creativity and passion that goes into these things. You know, like proper, like passion with integrity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You like when I go and talk to from Greer Effects.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Is it first name? Is it Mike Greer?
Nick
Greer. Nick Greer. Thank you. And you know, just go and hang out with him for 10 minutes. If you want to get sort of invigorized, you know, just go and hang out with Nick for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because his passion is just, it's tangible.
Or line them up, you know, most of the people in our little world, because heaven knows, if you wanted to make money, you wouldn't be building pedals, would you?
No,
You'd
really
go off
wouldn't.
and work in finance or do something that, you know, didn't require 20 hours a day working. Jarrett Oldenburg. Hi, Jarrett. Jarrett says, love the show, guys. Super happy to see your support on Tuesday and finally pulled the trigger on getting some shirts. I wanted to pitch in some more. Thanks again. Yeah, we don't want to make a big deal of it because we don't want to make it about us. But on Tuesday, we joined the Blackout Tuesday campaign, and we said that any sales that came through that Pedal Show store on Tuesday, we would donate to causes. We're still researching the causes that we should be donating to. We've had some advice on that. And we took, in the store on that day, which let's say for the record is not a normal day, we took £948 in the store on that day because of the what we said we were going to do with the cash.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're going to make that up to £1,000, and we're going to do something in the UK and something in the US. I don't know if we'll post about it because
no,
A, it's not about us. B, there's a huge amount of hate going around. We don't want to stir up any more of it. C, I'm just not sure anyone wants to hear any more white guys going on about it. But D, the extra awareness is worth it, and maybe we should. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
Don Retberg says, hey guys, thanks for the encouraging content. My band's rehearsal space just opened up again, and I'm looking forward to playing loud again. Hopefully we'll see gigs again soon. Stay well, guys. Yeah, totally with you, Don.
We're hanging on, hoping the Andy Timmons gigs in September. It's the end of September.
Yeah.
Everything is pointing in the right direction. We've got no reason to think they won't happen.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Charlie on the MTA says, here guys, have a beer or two. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
That's very kind. Right, back to some of these questions. I think I've got a bit behind here, Dan. Metal Thrashing Matt, hi Matt, says, just placed my order for a Gladio. And I think there was some more, but it hasn't come back. He's talking about the Cornerstone Effects Gladio, which is an overdrive pedal that Dan and I both love. Very much indeed. Ventris for an ambient reverb, says somebody else here.
Andy Sanduku says, I get that fuzz brings a lot of clipping, but does it also typically have a lot of compression? Are you able to explain the relationship between clipping and compression? If needed, there is one. Yeah, sure. So, think of it as limiting as opposed to compression. If you imagine that you've got imagine that your guitar sound is a sine wave. It's not the guitar sound is so much more complex than a simple sine wave, but this is what we use to demonstrate what happens, okay? So, if your guitar sound is a sine wave, and that sine wave has an amplitude, the amount of volume, and a frequency, which is the rate of the up and down, basically. Now, if that frequency is really nice and clean, there's no clipping going on, it's your, say a really clean note. Now, what happens with a fuzz is that amplitude is driven up so high that it hits what we call the rails. So you've got the amplifier. So you've got basically, say you've got two gain stages, right? One gain stage is increasing that volume, and the other gain stage is, or it can be done with diodes or whatever, but you've got another stage that basically limits how high, how much headroom you've got. So if you imagine you've got this massive sine wave and that hits the limit, we call that the rails. And so if you imagine you've got that sine wave, when that limits, you've got the sine wave goes up, it limits, it goes down again, and then limits again, okay? So that's what's happening. Those hard edges are done by the limiting of of the gain stage. It's hit the rails. So in essence, yes, that is, it's limiting as opposed to compressing. But what that's doing is, it's the same job as compressing, it's reducing your dynamics. Okay, so if you imagine, I'm limiting really hard, I'm really slicing the top and bottom edges off. Those sharp edges that you get, if you imagine that the sine wave goes up and then slices off and then down again, those sharp edges are what gives you that fuzz sound, okay? Now, if you imagine that I'm hitting really hard, then I ease back a little bit. If I ease back a little bit, I'm reducing the amplitude, but I've got to reduce the amplitude by so much to get back to a cleaner, sort of less, get some dynamics back in the sound. So yeah, that's basically what's happening. So it is reducing that dynamic content.
Yep.
That's basically it, yeah.
Yep. What was the original question? What's the difference between clipping and
what's happening in a fuzz? Is it compressing?
Yeah. Yeah. We just had a comment from Scott, and I'm sorry if we don't pronounce your name correctly, Scott, if it's Combs or Coombs, but Scott does voiceovers.
Oh, Scott, you absolute heroic legend.
I can't remember what it was. I think Scott might have sent an email in via Patreon or something like that, and I think I replied saying, I'd love to hear some of your voiceovers. Next thing we knew, we got...
Can you play it?
Scott sent us some voiceovers. Now, you're not going to hear this in the full glory that it should be, because it's going to be coming out of my laptop speakers going into this mic. But man, we're going to use these. We're
all the time.
Use them. Right, hang on. Let's see if I can get them onto my desktop. It's in iTunes.
It's in iTunes. For all your pedal and musical instruments in the UK and Europe,
Mute.
Our mates in Australia, Pedal Empire of Brisbane, Queensland, and Sweetwater. Find their links cleverly displayed in the description below. We'd like to thank everyone who's bought anything from thatpedalshowstore.com, such as hats, t-shirts, hoodies, gift cards, journals, coffee mugs, coasters for the coffee mugs, strings, stickers, pencils, pedals, and the ever-popular more.
Voiceover is a gift.
Yeah, totally.
Isn't it? And Scott, thank you so much for sending us those.
That's just the coolest thing ever.
We will use them.
Great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, man.
Right, Cheddar Kung Pao.
Dave.
He says, cheers, guys. I'll help offset rounding the charity fund up to 1K. He's just given $100.
Oh, Dave, man.
Mate, that's so kind.
That's...
And we will add that to to
Yeah, we
rounding up
totally
stuff.
will.
That's
That is super kind of you, Dave.
far out,
Thank you,
Dave.
man.
Thank you, mate. Absolute legend.
Metal. Oh, I did get your sound samples as well. You sent me some sound samples via email, and I didn't reply like a blooming. I think my head was at my bottom doing something else. So I will reply to you on that, Dave. And apologies. Metal Thrashing Matt. The question about the Gladio was, where do you think it sits in lineage of popular OD pedal points using Bluesbreaker, Timmy, Klon, TS as a reference?
I'd say it sits a little bit outside that, doesn't it? It's more the Dumble-esque.
Yes.
What's the one with the yin and yang in it? What's it called?
Zen Drive.
The Zen Drive. So it sits in that area more.
Yeah, and it's really versatile. I mean,
Super versatile.
it'll do like loads of gain or not much gain. It's got tremendous amount of headroom, which is really lovely, and you can have it super compressed and that sort of dumbly thing, or you can have it really present and banging and high headroom. It's just a great. It's more, they call it a double preamp, and I think that is in some way justified.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's still an overdrive pedal, but yeah, it's just got. One of the things I really like about it is that a lot of overdrive pedals can be quite smooth. Dan was talking earlier about symmetrical clipping, compression. You raise the level up with an op amp and then you clip it off with some diodes, and that can end up in a really smooth sort of sound. What I love about the Gladio is that it's got that kind of. It can have that pretty harsh amp-like edge.
Yeah, sure.
Which is just a bit more raw than I'm into that at the moment. I'm into sort of slightly rawer sounds rather than that beautifully smooth thing, which might be a little bit counterintuitive, because if you think of something like a Dumble Overdrive Special, if you've heard it in the hands of Robin Ford or any of the other people that use them over the years, they do end up sounding pretty smooth. But actually, if you hear one in the flesh, there's a lot of angry, raw,
totally
present, cutting, and these words could all be negative, but they're not. It's all in the most positive way.
Yeah, because those are dynamic elements that will just, like, you think about how Robin Ford is like a master of dynamics and control, and so that amplifier actually enables him to bring all that stuff to the fore. Yeah, incredible.
And it does, and the Gladio definitely delivers some of it. Is, in a world of millions of overdrive pedals, there are that have a lot of crossover, but that, so if you think, like, my favorite overdrive pedals are my Klon, Tube Screamer, the various versions thereof, so something like the Jesse Davey Kingtone Duelist, which is a bit bluesbreakery and a bit Tube Screamery. The Gladio sits apart from all of those. It's a different flavour again, and much loved.
Andrea Butera says, hello guys. In the end, I took the V40, the Duchess. I'm in love. Killer. Thanks again for your advice. Greetings as always from Italy.
Nice. Glad you like
wonderful.
it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Big the Wig says, Dan, tell us about the Curly Whirly. I only have one Curly Whirly story, which is we used to play this gig in Corsham called the Two Pigs. Tim Spirits used to play there, and at the end of the night, whenever a band played there, every member would get a Curly Whirly. No one really understood why, but you didn't question. They would simply turn up, here's your money, here's your Curly Whirlies. And we'd say thank you very much.
I bet they're about that big now, aren't they, Curly Whirlies? They used to be that big, didn't they? Do you remember when you were a kid?
Cricket bats with holes in them.
They were massive.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. Josh Copeland says, it seems every fuzz I use is slow to react and you can't play very many notes or play very fast. Is there a fuzz that isn't as full or driven that would allow me for fast playing without being muddy? Josh, I know exactly what you're talking about here, and this is what I think about Germanium fuzzes.
The faster.
No, the silicon ones are faster.
Okay.
Because you get more...
That's what I meant. Sorry, the silicon ones are faster.
And we mustn't be that reductive about it,
No,
because clearly I'm going to give you an example of a Germanium fuzz now that I think would work for you, and it is a Mark I tone bender. The aggression and the speed in that is off the scale.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, and that is, it's just got this. Do you remember when we were demoing the JHS ones? And I think it was the bender. where I turned it up
Yeah.
and it just went
Yeah.
like a bit like what happens. Another thing you can try is if you've got a fuzz that's doing that for you, put a clon after it or a clon type. That's what I do. What that does is it rolls off a bunch of bottom end and it gives you a kick about 3 to 4K. And that's like, okay, here we are. I can hear you now. And it gets that extra aggression. So that might work for you.
Yes, and especially it's if you're using humbuckers as well, the tone bender style has a much less bottom end and seems to work because it's more aggressive. Works really, really well with humbuckers.
Yeah.
Listen to Mick Ronson and his tone bender thing, and it's incredible.
Yeah, and all the versions thereof, like Zonk Machine.
Yes.
Which came after.
Percolator Fuzz.
Yeah.
All that
good
stuff.
Stephen Daly says, good to have you guys back. I got me a Ryra. It's incredible. So you're probably talking about the clone. But now my TS Mini seems a bit dull. Is this just a Tube Screamer thing or simply a price point thing?
Interesting question.
Right. What you're hearing in the Ryra is what I was just talking about with the clone. So you've got that upper, it's treble, I guess, but I refer to it as upper mid-range because it sits in that area. It's 3 to 4K. And that is a really, for me, that's a kind of bite part of a guitar sound. If you think like 10 to 12K is air and presence, 500 to 800 is the Tube Screamer thump. That 2.5 to 4K is the bite.
Yeah.
Is the teeth.
Yep.
And that's what you get with the Ryra. And Tube Screamer doesn't have any of that.
Yeah.
Literally has none of it. It's all, I don't know where it rolls off from on a Tube Screamer, but you just don't hear it.
Yeah.
Plus, the Ryra is less compressed. So the Tube Screamer is much more compressed than the Ryra. So that's why you're saying it sounds dull in comparison. We think our Tube Screamer Mini sounds 95% as good as our favourite Tube Screamers.
Yeah, it's right there.
So it's not, the Mini is a good thing.
It's just a fundamental character of the Tube Screamer.
Yeah.
And in some situations, that sounds great. If you've got an amplifier that's biting and edgy, but you need to push those mids and tame a little bit of that top end, just why Tube Screamers have got the reputation they have in loads of genres, with it's blues thing, like with loud Fenders or cranked Marshalls for the heavier thing.
Yeah.
Tube Screamers, that idea that it's rolling top end off is not a bad thing. In certain things, it's actually essential.
Yeah, it depends, like you just say, it depends on the amp.
Absolutely.
Like, I've been playing with the Mesa California Tweed quite a lot recently. And, clon into that's like, hey! But the Tube Screamer into that's just a beautiful
Glorious.
thing.
Yeah.
Really beautiful thing.
I remember because you texted me and you said, show me the board, and you said, I'm getting back into Tube Screamers again, which you hadn't been into for a long
I've
time.
been using for ages.
Yeah.
And now the Analog Man is on there again.
Amazing.
It's just a great sound.
Yeah.
Soren Ledet, you generous human
mate.
from Denmark. Blimey, O'Reilly.
Thank you, buddy.
He says,
out.
funds to get rid of the spacing device.
Burn it with fire.
We did discuss whether to put it up today, actually, because apparently it is not effective in an enclosed space. Anyway, we legally need to make an effort, and I guess morally we need to make an effort too.
Yeah.
So he says, Vent with the 5060 Ron Ellis pickups is awesome. Blues power king tone and soloist and tonal recall and 2-rock classic reverb.
I mean, I can hear that now.
You're in some sort of tone heaven there, Soren.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say. That is not a disadvantageous place to be.
No,
I would say
that's epic. Patrick Carroll says, "Cheers, boys. Ever played the EQ Earthquaker Devices Tone Job, the ZVEX Octane 3, or the Sano Earth Drive? An underrated EQ preamp, sexy octave fuzz, and clonish OD."
no.
No.
Have we got an Octane 3 up there? We've got an Octane.
Yes, Octane 3.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh well, let's plug that in then.
It's got. Well, I'm assuming it's got the 3 on it.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Okay. Now I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued too, Patrick. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Brilliant. Thanks for that.
Nick DeVriezi says, what is the best boost or drive pedal for a tweed circuit, I use an Esquire. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.
Interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. Depends what you want, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it depends how much your tweed circuit into Tweed World at the moment.
Yep.
1 via the Mesa California Tweed, and 2 via the Dan Drive Tweedy pedal into my 2-Rock. And I'm loving both of the sounds. You can agree or disagree with this, Nick. What I'm finding is there's an extended bass end and an extended top end with a Tweed type sound compared to the kind of sound that I'm used to. In fact, everything is more, I don't know whether it's a no negative feedback thing, but everything is just more like, here I am. And because it's more, it's also quicker to compress.
Yep.
So any overdrive, I would say, that is highly gained and highly compressed is probably not a good place to start.
Sure.
Fair?
Absolutely. Because there's so much of that going on. The Tweed amp is such an interesting circuit. So a guy that knows those amps, like back to front, we are going to get him on the show at some point when we can start this up again. A guy called Jesse Hoff from Lazy J Amplifiers. Now, Jesse creates a pedal called the Cruiser, and this is a new prototype of a sort of one side of the Cruiser. The Cruiser's a double thing. Anyway, with the Tweed amplifiers, and specifically, I've been using Jesse's J20 for a long time, but he's just brought out the J10, which we have to get in because it is astonishing. I used that at the guitar show.
Oh, cool.
With the matchless.
That was that, yeah.
Anyway, as far as boosts for a Tweed amplifier is concerned, they are stunning.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that compression. They work with the compression of the amplifier, specifically the Tweed amp. Amazing. So yeah, Lazy J, Cruiser. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something more boosty rather than overdrive,
Yes.
I would say. Something fetty, something FET derived maybe. Pedal I'm totally in love with again and come back to every few months is the Thorpe Warthog.
So good.
You can get that high-ish headroom, but you can also get it almost fuzzy.
Yeah.
And it's got the tone cut thing. So
But the way it stacks into other drive pedals
awesome.
is incredible.
Such a great pedal.
Yeah.
So many good pedals.
Yeah, I'm enamored at the moment with 2 of his latest things, which is it's their take on the big cheese, not their take on the big cheese. It's their sort of new updated version of the big cheese, which is called the Field Marshal.
Yep.
And also the Bunker, which is sort of the new, is it the brown sauce?
Yes, I think it is the
So
brown
Dan
sauce.
Coggins, who designs with Thorpe,
We've missed loads of honks today.
Yeah, he is
things.
the Dan Coggins from Love Tone, and he designed the big cheese and the brown sauce among all those other amazing things. And I tell you what, man, that big cheese,
Great
far
sound.
out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the Bunker was actually part of my solo tone for that thing we did.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Really nice. Be good
So
to get
good.
those in. They've sort of, I wouldn't say got missed exactly, but got, as COVID kicked off was when they were due to be released, wasn't it? Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should definitely get those on. Eric Williamson quite rightly says, can we get a shout out for BV Ninja
Oh, totally.
for being an awesome chat moderator?
What a legend.
Always quick to respond and great feedback for questions. Yeah, thank you, BV.
Yeah.
We did say it earlier, but we don't say it enough. So
No,
thank you, BV,
true.
for being with us and doing this essential job. Now, among the many things that confuse me in life, Dan, are agencies that just want to get in and disrupt live YouTube sessions. Why?
Who's that?
No, I'm just saying what BV does for us is he stops all of that stuff from happening.
Yeah. I remember the first couple that we did.
Yeah.
And by the end, it just got unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see stuff getting. Anyway, all right. Thank you. Matthew Smith says, speaking of tweed style pedals, the Way Huge Red Llama is very good. I especially like the 25th anniversary version. Yeah.
The Red Llama. Now that's
Pretty aggressive sounding thing as well, isn't it?
yeah.
As I remember.
Is that I think it is the same thing. They use a certain I see, like this really massive thing. I had Thorpe did me a clone of the original, like years before.
Yeah.
This is pre-Thorpe, and man alive, it's amazing. I used that was my solo boost for years. Great pedal.
Maybe get one of those. Scott Armour says, have you tried Jetta pedals? Dumble in a pedal type demo sound amazing. Greg Koch uses them. Yeah, and so does David Grissom.
Yeah, so when we don't have them, and we've been remiss, I must reach out to those guys because they're the Jetta, the Jetta Red apparently is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a
rectify
Grissom
that.
signature one. They had a blem sale and I went to buy it and they'd sold out by the time I got there. But
Dan Pfeiffer says, yes, the Red Llama is an 8-pin IC bass pedal. Yep, that's the one.
Interesting.
Yeah, so cool.
Chris Gibbons, hello Chris, says, as a freelance guitarist, I really only use effects for those odd occasions within songs that need an effect. What's your favourite song that has one-off guitar effect moments?
One-off guitar effect moments.
So the effect gets switched in for like the big moment.
Okay, well, I mean, there's so many. The whammy solo and Killing in the Name of is up there with the
You've
best.
just on the internet with that. I was going to say, Who's That Lady by the Isley
Oh
Brothers.
yeah,
With the fuzz and the phaser.
yeah. Yeah, there's
So many. I'm just trying to think of any others. Like, some songs are really defined by an effect, aren't they? Like if you think about EVH's flanger,
Yep.
or was it a phaser? Both, wouldn't it? He used both.
Use both.
The stuttering tremolo used by Pete Buck in REM.
Yep. The delay used by Andy Summers.
Yeah, or the edge.
Yep.
Yeah, just trying to think of like a really when an effect. I mean, if you go back to '65 when the Tone Bender came out and Fuzz and the various fuzz pedals that were coming out, they were all over all pop records at that time. So they would have been just chucked in there.
Yeah.
And what was the one he said? Keep on running. Spencer Davis
Yes.
was the first use of the Tone Bender, or the first commercial use of the Tone Bender. I'm sure there are others. I'm trying to think. Like wah-wahs are everywhere, aren't they? But was there like a massive phaser or a flanger or a... rotary speaker in Badge
Oh yeah.
by Cream.
Yep.
Do 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 do. And was it Something by the Beatles? Rotary speaker? Can't remember. Anyway. This conversation could go on all night, couldn't it?
Yeah. But those sounds, they are integral to the songs.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go and play that the Rage Against the Machine song without that whammy. You just look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool. Guys that understand that.
Guillaume, gents, I have a 2-watt classic reverb inspired combo with a Celestian Creamback. I'm looking at a stereo pairing, hesitating between a Marshall Bluesbreaker with greenbacks or an AC30. What would you advise?
Ooh.
Either of those will work. I'd go Marshall personally,
Okay.
because pairing amps with Voxes is slightly trickier than Marshalls, in my opinion, just because of the very specific mid-range of that AC30.
Yep. Totally. It's really funny. I took my AC30 when I was doing a recording with Biffy a couple of years ago, and took my AC30 in, and I took the Laser J in, and I'd used those amps together for years, and had them in the studio, and actually got to listen to the pairing, what happened with them when you crank them up, and they're so perfectly in phase.
Wow.
And you saw that, the waveforms and everything, and we're messing around with the producer and I were messing around with guitar sounds before Simon and the boys got there. We had all these amps and high watts and stuff, and we're getting all these great sounds, but then a tweed, that sort of tweed sound with the AC30, and it was like, wow. And that was used on so much of that album.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because Batoli20 says he's got an AC15 H1 TV, can't decide whether to pair it with something tweedy or blackface.
Tweedy. Got to say Tweedy with
Exactly.
that. It's such. It really does pair magnificently.
So where Guillaume was saying about didn't know whether to go with an AC style or a Marshall style, the classic reverb type amp will do all kinds of sounds, but it is predominantly a blackface type sound until you switch the mid in and get it really cranked. But anyway, I think they work better with Marshalls, and I totally agree with Dan that I think Tweed amps and Vox amps are like match made in heaven.
They really are.
You also mentioned a Princeton though, and I think the Princeton, to me, always feels like the most Tweedy blackface.
Yeah.
So, and it depends what kind of Princeton it is as well. If it's one of the 68 customs, that's even more so. So,
Jet Lucas has said, how do you get the most out of a 5E3 Tweed amp? Yep, so that's a show that we're going to do, and we're going to get Jesse in to do that, because no one knows that circuit like that guy. So it's a really interesting question because it's such a ubiquitous amplifier.
yeah.
And
they're all different.
they're all different.
Like, I played 5E3s that are gained the minute you touch them. So you plug in, you turn up a little bit and it's overdriving, and I played some that have got unbelievable headroom.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Paul West, thank you, Paul. He says, I love the older PJS Synvatec delay. Wondering if TPS can get one of his new Drive N5 Plus preamp pedals. Oh, and play more of the Jazzmaster. Funnily enough that you should say that, I was just looking at this today, which is the Fluid Time, the Synvatec Fluid Time. And this thing is killer. He's done some really interesting things. And I met him at NAMM a few years ago. Really humble, really, but just, man, so creative. This thing does so much. Very cool, actually. And add that to the list of pedal guys to know about, because they do some really creative stuff.
Guillaume says, thanks, just recorded stereo with a hot rod and an AC30 and I can't come back from that sound. Well, interestingly then, so hot rod to me has that very pronounced mid-range.
Yep.
It's closer to a Marshall kind of sound for a Fender amp than a standard blackface.
Yep.
So, good question here from Jack Glacken. Hi, Jack. How do you record a wet-dry wet rig in Cubase? You just set up 3 channels and you record your 2 wets and you record your dry, and then you can pan them however you want. The standard way to pan them would be wets left and right, dry straight down the middle. You need to check everything's in phase, and ideally it will be in phase when you record it, because that's what will give you the most harmonic niceness and everything in when you're recording.
Yeah.
But you can fix it thereafter in Cubase should you wish.
Yeah. But yeah, just doing it, getting the microphones in phase and record a bit and then line everything up, just see where you are. And you might see one waveform's a bit further, one wave's a bit behind, and just getting those microphones, to the point where everything's bang on. And just when you're recording and everything just sounds big and present.
Direct.
It's wonderful.
Herschel Thompson. But don't be afraid to mess with phase as well, because I also like the sound of stuff where there is a weird phase relationship going on.
One thing we need to do is that 4x12 trick.
Yeah.
Where you get a 4x12 and you flip the phase on one of the speakers.
Right.
And apparently it's a real thing. It creates this sound, and that's like, so you can put your mic up one of your speakers for the front of house guy, but the sound on stage with one of the amplifiers out of phase is apparently amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Never tried it.
Yeah.
So yeah, phase is something to be messed with.
It really
not
is
something to fear.
Yep, totally.
Herschel Thompson, thank you,
Herschel,
for that. Gino Inzario says, have you guys used the Keeley Rotosonic X? It's a Leslie Univibe Vibro Sonic. Keeley only made a few in 2018. I haven't played that actually. Rotosonic X, no. He did. There was quite a few things. I don't know whether they got a new chip or some new technology or some new skill in the company around that time. There was lots of things that came out. Actually, maybe a little bit earlier than that as well, like the Vibratrem.
Is that when...
Maybe that was a bit earlier as well. But anyway, there was all this loads of new stuff coming out from Keeley. So I
For
don't
a
know.
pedal a week. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that would be good. It would be good to try that.
Yeah.
Ed Brown. Hello, Ed. I know you've probably used hundreds of digital multifunction delays, but what's the best one you've both played?
Best is a slippery slope. So I've been enamored with the Meris pedals, the delay and reverb from Meris sonically. I think they're amazing. It's
Timeline still stands up sonically, doesn't it?
It does, but I tell you what I've been playing with this week that has sort of blown my mind. I've been playing with the old time factor,
Oh yeah,
the old Eventide time factor.
Eventide, yeah.
Now,
no analog drive-through.
no analog drive-through, so I've put it in a wetter box, and I've given it an analog drive-through, killed the dry in that thing. The fidelity in that thing is crazy.
Yeah,
So that was one of the first all singing, all dancing delays. But that thing, the ADA converters in that are crazy good. And it really makes a difference. You can have, all this, fidelity, 48K and all that sort of stuff, but unless the converters in there are really doing
well,
the business.
there is a reason that high-end studios spend so much money on AD converters, isn't there?
Right, totally. So I'm been messing around with that this week and been absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
It's some wonderful sounds in that. I think it, in all honesty,
I like
you
the source audio stuff because I can use
yes, totally. And the
it. Boss DD500 is really
yeah,
good.
oh, of course, the ecosystem,
Yeah.
magic sounding thing. All I would say is if you can find, they all sound great, okay? Find the user interface that you connect with and, make sure that you really like the sound of it. But if you find that interface that you connect with, and then it's a matter of spending time with it, because the modern digital delay units can do so much. It is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But you need to. I remember when I got my Roland GP8, right, when I was really young, and I could make that thing make you a cup of tea. There was, I like all of every utility function, every single thing inside that.
You knew it.
I knew it back to front.
There's a lot to be said for that, isn't there?
Totally.
Exploiting the gear to the maximum of your and its potential.
Yep.
Rather than expecting to just plug in and it be amazing.
Absolutely. So
there's a UI consideration in there. I mean, you'll find certain UIs easier than others.
yeah.
I find them all hard. Is the truth of the matter.
Yeah, but it's hard when you're sort of confronted with it and it's like, all right, we need to make this thing sound great straight away. But you spend time with it.
Yeah, true.
It's like when you did the MD500, the M500 series,
Yeah,
and you took it away and you came back and said, yeah, I've got it.
yeah,
And because you sat down and spent time with it. And I
Yeah, a
still
couple of
struggle with
hours.
that, but you
Yeah.
don't.
yeah.
So it is about, a time spent thing is important.
Paul Wolfs, have you tried the Chase Bliss Automaton preamp? Any thoughts? Do you think it's worth the money, or will the Benson preamp do fine for most players?
So we have one on the way. There's a story I can tell you about that. But no, wait till it turns up because it's
Okay.
really, really interesting.
It looks amazing.
It's so great. Yeah. Obviously the thing about the automaton is the programmability of it and all the different sounds that you get out of it. The Benson preamp is awesome. But there is extra, not just functionality, but there's extra sounds available within the automaton. But yeah, we are going to do a show and you'll see it and, get to hear it in all its glory.
Eli Spots. Hello, Eli. He says, I'm trying to get a good transparent overdrive to stack with Joey Landreth's Golden Boy. What do you recommend? Blimey. Well, the Golden Boy does most things, doesn't it? From what I understand. We've got one on the way.
Yeah, it's the single knob thing, isn't it? That the Golden Boy. Or is
No,
it
it's the
different?
new Joey Jackson audio.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, transparent overdrives. Either you can go for something preampy, like a Benson preamp, formerly mentioned, like a Hudson Broadcast.
Hudson Broadcast, the other one, yeah.
Or you can go for something overdrive-y. And there are just so many overdrives out there. So it's really, what sounds do you like? What kind of players do you like? And work back from there.
If you're confused on, and it's a big subject, finding the right overdrive for you. We've done shows in the past, and it's no doubt something, again, we will revisit in the future. But there's a few things to consider if you are like, okay, I need to find a new gain stage. The most, a handful of really important things are, when people talk about the sound that the pedal has, you need to consider that with a pinch of salt. You need to, understand its dynamics, but you also, more importantly, need to understand how it's going to react with your gear. So the guitars you're using, the amplifiers you're using, the way you like to play, the sounds that you're going for. For example, if you've got if you're using a Hot Rod Deluxe, which has got much more pronounced mid-range, and you stick a mid-boosted pedal into that, it might get a little strident, but if you stick something more, sort of evenly placed frequency-wise, like a blues driver or a King of Tonus or blues breaker, that might work better. But it all, again, depends on the sound that you're going for.
Yeah.
So understanding a few of those things.
It is tough though, isn't it? Because you sat there online and you're looking at all the overdrive pedals going, don't know.
Yeah. It's really tricky.
Yeah. It's really hard. Do you want versatility or do you just want a killer sound?
Yeah. See, that's killer for me
Mythos
always.
Chupacabra, Billy Gibbons in a box.
Yep.
Just awesome.
Yep.
Etc. And on you go.
Yeah. But again, is that a sound that you're going to use all the time?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So many things to consider.
Andre Langenbach says, isn't the transparent overdrive the same as the unicorn? Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. Transparent, transparent overdrive, what, louder and a bit more gainy?
This is transparent,
Sort of, yeah. Yes, you're right. It is like the unicorn.
Ed Brown, me again. Thanks for the reply. Another question. Would you recommend the Walrus Audio ARP87?
Yes.
We use it all the time with the show.
Fantastic sounding thing.
Wonderful sound and delay.
Yeah. Simon Myhill. Hello, Simon. He says, phase in a wet dry rig. Will a ditto stereo, so that's a ditto stereo looper, I guess, affect the phase if I put it post AB Baby?
Mm-hmm.
Each side goes to the ditto, then off to 2 amps. You can correct the phase in the AB Baby, can't you?
You can. If each side goes to the ditto and you're using that as the looper, so is it a stereo ditto?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not going to have, all their stuff is true bypass. I'm assuming that's no exception. So when you're not using it, you're not going to have any phase issues. But when you are using it, you're going to have the same latency going to the amplifiers. That you're not going to have. I think the drive-through signal in that is still analog when you've got the looper on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that, but I'm pretty sure it is. They're quite consistent with their analog drive-through, so I think you should be okay.
Matt
Interesting.
Miller, done any work on the Electro-Harmonix Worm or any plans to work on it? It is with Zach Mythos as we speak. So Zach's got it. He's sent me a schematic that he's going to work to.
Cool.
And he says it's no problem, basically. So I can't wait.
Right, Oliver Popple said, did Dan used to have a Fender quad reverb? I was watching a video of Freddie King with it cranked. Sounded mega. Thinking about buying one. Yes, I used to have a Fender quad reverb, and that was stolen along with my 1964 L Series Strat. Yes, a heartbreaking moment. And they are fantastic. They are, oh my word, they're loud. Just off the charts loud. And magnificent sounding, ferocious beast of an amplifier.
I was listening to Freddie King a few weeks ago.
Right.
When we did the guitar show in Birmingham, Ainsley wanted to do Tore Down.
Right.
And what a sound Freddie King had. I mean, just like... Sorry, I'm looking for Matt Presley's super chat question, and I can't find it. And I'm sorry, Matt, if we've missed you.
Hang on.
Hopefully, BV might be able to dig it out and get there.
Okay.
Diatonic Dude says, Dan, why did you let the 2-Rock Jet go? You didn't like it, did you?
The 2-Rock Jet, I went through 5 output transformers.
Was that part of the Premier Builders Guild days?
I think it was before that.
Before that, I know they did have a bit of an output transformer issue around that time, didn't they?
Yeah, and it was the weirdest thing. It just kept flashing over.
Yeah.
They were really great, but it just had to eventually let it go, and then went from that to the Vox.
I quite like the Jet.
When it was working,
It's
far out. You know what?
Fantastic sounding thing.
When it was just about to die, was some of the best sounds I've ever had in my life. Like the 30 seconds before it was about to die, heaven. And the last time it died, I'm going, this is epic. Oh no! Bang!
Boom.
Right. Chris Collins Guitar says, excuse to donate a bit of cash. Thank you, mate. Have you checked out the new Chase Bliss Audio Preamp Mark II, Flying Fader Fascinations? Yes. And we have one on the way.
Jake Loosemore. Hello, Jake. Jake sent me a song this week. Jake's a friend of ours who comes along to TPS gigs, is a mutual friend of Jason, formerly of Wampler, now of Two Notes. Jake sent me an astonishing song this week that he did with the guy who plays in Joey Landreth's band.
Roland?
No, not Roman the drummer, the keyboard player and guitar player. And embarrassingly, I can't remember his name, and I'll remember in a minute. Jake, go onto iTunes now and search for Jake Loosemore. Everyone watching this, Jake Loosemore, and listen to Jake's track.
What's it called? Jake Loosemore's
It's
track.
called Better Me.
Okay.
My goodness me, Jake, you've come a long way.
Go, Jake.
Yeah. Anyway, his actual question was, what do we think of EV speakers, EV12Ls, or the WGS12L? I've got the warehouse version of that EV speaker in my 1x12 2-Rock cab. It's a very, very
Honest,
flat, loud sounding thing. It's great. I've recently fallen back in love, and I wonder if it's just because they're hammered in, the 1265Bs in my 2-Rock 212.
Okay.
They just seem to have a bit more bite about them.
Right.
That's a 90-watt speaker with a large magnet. But interestingly, it has resonant frequency of about 100 dB.
Okay.
Which is quite high for a guitar speaker.
Right.
Like if you think about those old greenbacks and stuff, I think they're 75.
Yeah, okay.
50 for the bass speaker.
So super efficient.
So, sorry, the resonant frequency.
Okay.
So the higher the resonant frequency, the kind of less rumble you get, I think.
Okay.
And I think the difference between the bass heavy magnet greenbacks and the normal greenbacks is 75 and 50, I think.
Okay.
And then the 2-Rock's at 100. And I think the G12, the speaker that Robin Ford likes, is higher as well.
Okay.
So it just makes it a bit more articulate. Efficiency-wise, it's nearly 100 dB, so it's quite an efficient speaker, and I really love that. However, that WGS Warehouse Guitar Speakers 12L version of the, sort of retake on the EV is a lovely sounding thing. A lot of people think EVs sound really aggressive. Doesn't sound aggressive at all. It doesn't have a harsh high end. Because it can just take so much power. There's no breakup. It's just what you give it. So I think recording-wise, I just don't think you can beat a really good greenback.
Sure.
That sensible volume.
Yeah.
But anyway, please go listen to Jake's song. It's really awesome. Matt Presley says, no problems, guys. Okay, Matt, I'm really sorry we missed you, and thanks for the...
Oh, here we go. No, got it.
Got it?
Yeah. He says, Matt Presley, can you recommend a silicon fuzz, aka fuzz face, in a rectangular chassis since the JHS Smiley is sold out everywhere?
Yeah, my suggestion won't be any use to you because it's the Analog Man BC 183, which will probably also be quite a significant waiting list.
Yeah.
But if I can't have my Hendrixy one, this is the one. This is my next favourite one. And then after that, Jesse Davey Mini Fuzz.
Oh man, that's
Silicon version.
yeah.
King tone.
Yeah, that one there. Far out. That thing is
I
amazing.
think there's an SI version of that,
Right.
which is really spectacularly good. It's probably worth just trying the regular BC 108
From
Dunlop.
Dunlop.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, their stuff is so good.
Yeah. I don't know about jam pedals, any of the other people we really love.
The fuzz phase is that silicon?
I think that's germanium.
Right.
Jam pedals fuzz phrase. This is the custom shop one, which is just a blooming awesome germanium
So good.
fuzz face.
Show the little zip at the back.
Who's in there? Oh no! Yeah, that's pretty spectacular. Dan Drive again, but
Yeah.
you're talking about crazy money and a long waiting list.
Personal Nadir says, Dan, have you checked out the Sub-Decay Starlight Mark II, a flanger with a sample hold mode? I know you guys enjoyed the Proteus. Or haven't checked it out. Okay, that's on the list. Thank you. Dan, from Michael says, Dan, what is the exact model of that Gretsch? The Airliner, is it a player series? I love that guitar. Wish you played it more on the show. Okay. It is.
This is a great guitar.
So I've got two here. I'm assuming you mean this one?
No, he means the red one, I think,
The red
doesn't he?
one. Okay.
Does he? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, well, let's talk about them both.
Okay. Is it this one?
Yeah, that's a player series broad jet because it has the Broadtron pickups. And that guitar sounds blinking fantastic. It's got a really specific mid-range, which I guess Gretsch may well be known for. And it just sits so brilliantly well with sort of slightly crunchy sounds.
Yeah. There's something about this sonically that it's like if I had to have a humbucker thing,
Cheers, Jake.
this is probably the guitar I'm going to go for at the moment. The rock sound from the bridge humbucker in this thing is out of control.
It's just a great guitar.
It's so lovely.
Richard Henry, do you think the Andy Timmons dates will go ahead in September? At this point, Richard, we do. We've no reason to think they won't. And Michael, just the other Gretsch that Dan's got is a 6118 double anniversary with regular Filtertrons.
Yep, and a broken string.
Just an average guy wants to know what's the difference between the Bonamassa fuzz face and the Hendrix fuzz face. Right. Joe Bonamassa limited edition copper fuzz face. Jimi Hendrix JHF1 BC 108 silicon transistors. Some kind of germanium transistors that had been voiced to deal with humbuckers and not be so woolly with Joe's humbuckers. So yeah, germanium works with humbuckers. Silicon works with everything, but is, Strat, Plexi. That's the sound. I was listening in the car this morning on Electric Ladyland. You've got Voodoo Child, right? So not Voodoo Child Slight Return, but Voodoo Child.
Okay.
The slow blues one.
Right.
And it's Jimmy, and he's there, and he's got a Plexi cranked, because you can hear that it's a Plexi cranked, and a fuzz face, and his Strat, and the most awesome room reverb. And it's just the best guitar sound. And it's like 10 minutes long or whatever it is. Whoever mixed the keyboards on that wants hoofing in the nuts.
Okay.
But the rest of it...
It took me a long time to get into Jimmy.
Me too.
Now when I hear him, it's like, I'm an idiot. What was I thinking?
Same with anything, isn't it? I mean, I would say I got Mike McCready and Stevie Ray Vaughan to thank for my love of Jimi Hendrix.
Right, wow.
Because they give you a way in. Anyway.
Fascinating.
Right, Dino Guitar Guy, any chance you'll be doing the Humboldt guitar amplifier? Not sure. We haven't made enquiries, and nor has anyone come to us. Nate Van Horn says, thanks so much, guys. I just finished building my first board using all gig rig power, and I'm absolutely over the moon.
Oh, thank you, mate. That's amazing.
That's really cool. Steve Winwood plays keys on Voodoo Child, by the way. As
Really?
somebody's just pointed out, says the
Wow.
great deal. Yeah, the playing's great. The mix is like louder than the guitar, which that's just not the way it should be with guitars and keyboards. Sorry. Voodoo Child is the greatest 15-minute jam ever put to tape. A live one take, as I understand it, says the great Dell. Yeah, it's just you got to listen to it, Dan.
Okay.
It's like, oh yeah, that's a Strat and a Plexi.
Is that on Electric Ladyland?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a Strat and a Plexi in a room with a massive room like slapback delay.
Well, from the room.
Yeah, and I don't know how they may have had some sort of reverb chamber for the reverb, but
Man.
yeah, what a great sound. Average Melon.
Oh, mate,
Average
that's
Melon,
very
thank you for
kind.
your
Thank
generous
you.
donation. Great to see you back in the studio. Thanks for all the entertainment over the years. Well, thanks for being with us. Every Fuzz face I've tried always has an output level issue. Barely unity gain, which is a problem considering their lack of mix. Do they get completely lost in the mix? Am I unlucky? Is that common? Says Bursts of Tone. No, mine's loud as hell.
I know what you mean. If you're...
It's a frequency thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's how to set your Fuzz face. On 10. And like most guys,
Where'd you go from there?
where'd you go from there? And then just turn both of these back until the sound of frying bacon disappears. That's how you set your Fuzz face. And that is loud as hell if you've got an amplifier
With
some
headroom.
in it.
Yeah, yeah.
If
That's
you
the
haven't,
thing. If you
let
haven't,
it
it's not
smush.
going to drive the amplifier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got to be a Plexi or something with plenty of headroom.
yeah.
If you put that into I don't know, an amp with loads of gain, it's just nothing.
Michael Harless says, grew up with an older brother who loved Hendrix and owned the stereo. He listened to Hendrix at 9-10 years old in 69 and 70. That's, I didn't have that. I had kung fu noises. That was my issue. That's why my timing's so rubbish. I'm going, wah, gah.
Constant Sex Pistols from my brother.
Oh, cool.
He was massively into punk. Well, he was into the Sex Pistols. So yeah. In fact, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. One of the comments on one of the videos, guitar sounds for punk. Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols, if you consider the Sex Pistols punk, and I know a lot of people don't, which is ironic, but anyway. Absolutely awesome rock guitar sound.
Yeah.
What a brilliantly produced record that is.
Didn't they steal a bunch of gear out of the Wailers from... Wasn't that one of those things where there was...
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, but totally amazing. Massive wall of sound.
To all the people saying poor Stevie Winwood, I'm not saying hoof Stevie Winwood in the nuts. I'm not really saying hoof anyone in the nuts. I'm just saying the mix on the keys is... The playing is awesome. The mix, not so much. It's probably Eddie Kramer, wouldn't it, or someone, and I'll get a javelin through the post, through the eye.
Special delivery, Taylor.
Eric Cooper, opinions on the headroom in Bad Cat 40R amps. Never played one. I don't know if the 40R is an EL84 amp or something else, but they've always been pretty loud, Bad Cat amps, as I remember.
Sorry, TKBYD said the amp Jimmy used was a Fender Bassman, piggyback style, cranked. So Fender Bassman, it is a Plexi.
For Voodoo Child.
Apparently that's what he's saying. I
Interesting.
don't know. But it's, those old Bassmans are Plexi circuits.
That's interesting. Wouldn't have been by then, though, would it? 69. would have been 68 whenever Electric Ladyland was. It would have been a Silverface by then.
Okay.
Not impossible. Certainly not impossible. Sounds like a bloody Plexi to me, though. Sorry for swearing. But yeah, interesting.
Matthew Fredericks has discovered that pedal show just as COVID-19 was ramping up. Thanks for the hours of escapism. Also, being at home has given me more time to play than I've had in 20 years. So now I have 5 new pedals. Yes.
Good on you, Matthew.
Yes, good on you, Matthew.
And welcome.
That's great. Yeah, welcome, absolutely.
This idiocy happens every week.
Every week. Welcome to the rabbit hole. Jake Loosemore says, I mixed it.
67er Matsy is saying he's bought a throwback Stonebender.
Oh, awesome. I've got one
Yeah,
there.
there's one up there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Killer. Throwback stuff, man. They're pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
Timothy Nobody, opinions on Sansamp, the original thing. Yeah, that was like the little black box that you could do direct sounds with.
Still the best modeler in the world.
Sort of feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of sterling work done with Sansamp stuff
Yeah,
down the years.
really, really clever.
Yeah. David David Megans says, I have a Squire and I'm looking for my first Fender Strat, but I'm not sure where to begin. Do I get a new player series or maybe a second-hand something or other? The Vintera looks awesome, but just a little over my budget. I think Vinteras, I don't know where you are in the world, David, but I think Vinteras are like $800-900, are they? Something like that?
Right.
Just under the grand, maybe. Maybe they're 7, 8, 9, something like that. It's so hard because there's so many Strats.
Yeah.
If you are minded to go for a vintage style Strat, which I would personally choose because that's my thing, but not everyone likes them because some people like the 2-point vibrato, some people like other features. If you want a straight vintage style Strat, I would look for a used classic series,
Okay.
which were the first decent vintage reissues they made out of Mexico. They did one with the vintage style bridge, and they did one called a classic player, which had the 2-point bridge, which if you prefer the 2-point bridge, then that would be a good one to go for. They also did some lacquer ones, and I think you can pick them up for $600-700,
Wow, okay.
maybe slightly less. My Jazzmaster is a classic series made in Mexico lacquer guitar,
Right.
and I think we paid maybe 670 quid for that.
That's an amazing guitar. Yeah.
And that is a great guitar.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend that. The Viteras are really nice.
Okay, right. If you're looking for a Strat style guitar, forget about the headstock, forget about what it says on there, an S style guitar. What are the important things?
Well, for me, would be a lightweight body,
Okay.
a 6-pivot vibrato,
Okay.
and really good vintage style pickups.
Okay.
But for a lot of people, the 6-pivot vibrato doesn't work, and they don't like vintage pickups. They want something a bit more powerful. So really depends what you want. And then, yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a really tough one. Mid-price Fender guitars are generally excellent.
Right.
And excellent chassis for upgrades down the line too.
Okay.
Tell you what is good. I mean, you say you've got a Squire, but you want a Fender. The upper end of the Squire, like some of the vintage modified stuff, they're great guitars.
Sure.
Really, really cool guitars.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a minefield. There's so many Strats out there.
Yeah, right.
I think this won't help given that we're in the middle of COVID. But as soon as you can, get out and play a bunch.
Sure.
I know it's easy for us to say, but you'll pick up a guitar one day and you'll go, this is for me.
Ezra Elliott says, just get the Ed O'Brien Strat, tradition be damned. Well, way ahead of you. There he is, look. There he is. There's Ed.
Yeah, David really wants a Fender Strat. I feel you, David. Yeah. I'd seriously look at the Classic series. They don't make them anymore. It was replaced by Vintera.
Sorry.
Cracking guitars. Can be. Similarly, used Highway 1, if you can find a light one.
What's Transit Van?
Transit Van is an American vintage.
Right.
So they were closer to $2,000.
Okay.
They were a bit more really exacting vintage specs, nitro finish.
Right. But that's an astonishing guitar.
It's a great guitar.
Yeah.
It's a really great guitar. My Jimmy one, which isn't a Jimmy one, this was I'm assuming this was some deal that went bad and the Hendrix estate decided not to give the license at the last minute, is my assumption.
Right.
But it was either Guitar Center or one of the other big American retailers. The one with the red type logo, Sam Ash or someone like that. Don't know who it was. Anyway, they did a bunch of these and they ended up calling it a Fender 60s reverse headstock Strat.
Okay. You know what? As a show I want to do, pedals, rigs that get the most out of your Strat, and go through some tones and some different Strats, and hear them with some different cornerstone pedals for Strats. It's a great guitar. And you've taken gunk off that neck.
Yeah, so this is made in Mexico. Basically a Classic series guitar, but with the reverse headstock. This is a great Strat.
Great Strat. Sounds
I bought this
amazing.
after one chord. I picked it up in Anderton's. It was used, 399 quid. I went, I'll have it. So, can't resist them, Dan. Can't resist them. Can't resist them. Sorry. Slab board versus veneer for a Strat mix, says Bertoli 20. I like them both. I really do. I mean, the classic thick, plummy sound is the slab board, but some of those veneer board Strats, and it's very hard to be reductive because they all sound different. But one thing I have heard from countless people who should know is that the fret tangs go all the way into the neck.
Right.
On a veneer board, can do. That makes a difference. Also, there's less rosewood compared to maple, so it's going to sound a step closer to a maple neck Strat, maybe. And then, of course, then in, I think it was 63, they started doing the veneer boards, and then by the end of 64, you're into enamel wire and Alnico 5 magnets. So it all changed anyway. So there's lots of things that...
See, because I don't really know that world. I would be fascinated to learn more about that. Yes.
Daniel Webb, thank you, sir.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Have a drink on me. Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
Hatfield 772. I reached out to the gig rig team. Long story short, Joe advised a QMX 10 and 8. Should I just invest in a G2 and downsize? So what you're saying, you want a 10 and an 8 because you want 18 loops.
Ah, okay. It just depends on what you want to do with your rig.
It
I mean,
really does.
yes.
We're always in and out, aren't we, of more and less complex.
Yeah.
I'm in a less complex mood at the moment.
Because I've been recording, it's been fascinating getting the sound set up through the monitors and having the board set up where it's been so... One thing I've really noticed is how easy it has been to dial up those sounds, having the big board there and everything sounding ace. But yeah, it just depends on, of course I'm going to say, yeah, go for it. But whatever was going to work for you. But Joe's great. Continue the conversation with Joe and if I can help, I certainly will. Richard Henry says, Dan, how goes the Ted Green book? I've just bought Chord Chemistry by Ted Green, and I'm going through it at the moment. And I am, every time I hear Ted Green play, I sort of become emotionally overwhelmed the beauty that guy can express with his chords and his playing in general is truly astonishing.
Didn't he play a lot of tenor stuff as well, Ted Green?
I don't know.
I think I might have that wrong. I'm sure I read somewhere that he played tenor stuff.
So I hear him most of the stuff that he's jazz playing, but then his Telecaster playing is just heart-achingly beautiful. So, I bought this book. It's a famous book called Chord Chemistry. I'm just making my way through it at the moment. Far out, man. How I don't understand how people can keep that much information in there.
No, I don't.
It's unbelievable, and it's all there. It's instantly recalled. So yes, I am trying, and I'm going to get through it because chords are my thing. I love them, but understanding them to that level is it's a challenge and a goal. Andy Milne says, has anyone asked Madison Cunningham to come on the show yet? Yes, I've reached out to her, haven't heard back. So, but it's COVID, man. Nothing like that's happening at the moment, but would love to get her on the show. I think she is absolutely incredible.
Gary Gaggle says, thanks for the advice last week, Mick. Friction has definitely helped with the volume knob on the Strat. Awesome.
Hey.
I'm pleased to hear that, Gary. There was one here about JJ Newbold. JJ Newbold says, I'm a big Black Crowes fan.
Oh, cool.
I'm looking for a really fat mid-range lead tone from the bridge pickup, smooth attack, looking at pedals like the Zen Drive and the Kingsley Minstrel. Other thoughts? Depends what... well, actually, no, it doesn't, but Black Crowes for me is Southern Harmony and Musical Companion.
Right.
Shake Your Money Maker, good record. Obviously, they had the big hit from that. Amorica, stuff that came after, all good records, all great stuff. Southern Harmony and Musical Companion is a defining moment in musical history as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Absolutely spectacular album with Rich Robinson and Mark Ford just in such unbelievable, perfect dual guitar assault. That record, to my ears, is just old amps, old guitars, few fuzz pedals here and there. It is a spectacular sounding thing. Actually, Mark Ford's solo album, Weary and Wild.
A track came on the other day. I was driving. I'm like, this is amazing. It was him. Did you see what's the band they did without Rich, without the singer?
I don't know.
Rich Robinson and Mark Ford.
Chris Robinson, guitar player. Oh, sorry.
Rich Robinson.
Rich, sorry, yes.
And Mark Ford had a band without Chris. They did something else.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Without Chris. And I saw them play.
No way.
And it was that. It was old amps cranked.
Yeah.
Far out, man.
For me, it's Fuzzes and Tweedy stuff.
Yeah.
Are those sounds. Like, a bit ragged round the edges. In some respects, smooth attack... that smooth attack that you're talking about to me sounds more like cranked amp compression,
right?
Because there's not much smooth about those guitar sounds.
Sure,
it was all the sort of sounds I'm starting to come to really appreciate now that I didn't like in my younger days. So yeah, pedal recommendations.
Someone just said that Mark Ford uses an Analog Man Sunline, which is a treble booster and a fuzz face.
A fuzz face, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then you stick that into a cranked amp and it's just a spectacular thing.
Yeah.
There's a JHS pedal that I really love the sound of. It's a load of FETs, I think, isn't it? Is it this one? The Super Bolt?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty killer.
That's awesome.
JHS Super Bolt, I would recommend.
I had that on the board for a while. That was, really great.
Some of the Tweedy type drives.
North
Yeah.
Pedals had a tweed drive, didn't they?
Everyone should have some sort of clon style, and then you pair that up with another overdrive. Should be the law, when you pop when you pop out and they hang you upside down and smack your bottom, they should hand you a clon.
Right. I like it. Aaron Singh says, evening chaps. Hey Aaron. He says, I've got a 62 and a 63 to go with your 61 for the Strat show. In stable tones. Keep safe. Hopefully see you in September at Water Rats. Yes. Everything's crossed for that one, mate.
Question for the Brain Trust, says Chris Collins Guitar. Any suggestions for a vintage voice Strat, resonant body, chunky U or D neck profile, HSS 2-point trem? There's some contradiction going on in what you want there. If you want vintage voiced, then the 2-point trem's not the thing. It doesn't really work for vintage voiced. You need a 6-point, needs to be on the body. And you want a 55 relic,
Right.
like Rabia's guitar.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That is a cracking guitar.
It is. It is.
And then vintage voiced with a humbucker. No, it's not. That's not what a
No,
Strat's
it's
for.
definitely a wooden thing.
However, the good news is, where you may struggle, if you find a really good HSS with a 2-point, the chances are it won't have a chunky neck.
Right.
So maybe you could look at someone like Warmouth, or I don't know. What about somebody like Exotic?
Did you play the stuff at the last NAMM?
Yeah.
Man, it's getting
Or Sir.
yeah.
That's there. Once you start going to that 2-point bridge, humbuckers, Sir, Exotic.
Yeah.
That's a nice place to be. That kind of stuff.
Did we shout out to Average Melon?
I think so.
It's great to see you back in the studio. Thanks for all the entertainment over the years. Yep, great. Cheers, mate. Michael Force. I start to see a pattern. First, it was a leakage Dan spotted in his studio next to the space bar, and now he tapes his glasses. I think we need to start a Dan fund. Here's a few pounds to start it. Thank you, mate. That's very kind.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, Dan's world is falling to bits.
It really is. Just give me 10 minutes to get down to Specsavers and get these sorted out. That'd be great.
Freddie Vega says, no Stereotone amp in the show. No, we don't have one. By all accounts, they sound great.
Yeah, I tried the Stereotone matchless.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It wasn't my matchless, but it was really good.
I don't know whether it's, I have a bit of a block on anything that's just squarely trying to be something else.
Yeah.
Which doesn't say much about my guitar playing, but and we have first face clones and stuff, but normally the stuff we like and respect takes a classic platform and it moves on. Maybe Stereotone does that. Maybe I have a warped sense of what Stereotone is.
Yeah, I think it's worth looking at, but their
clone clones are amazing.
Yeah, totally. Santiago Abad says, who are your 5 favourite players alive? Thank you and greetings from Argentina. Interesting. Pat Martino.
Michael Landau.
Joey Landreth.
Joey Landreth.
Andy Timmins.
Who have I been listening to a lot lately? God, it's hard, isn't it?
It's really
I don't
hard.
want to leave anybody out.
I'm going to say Derek Trucks.
He's definitely up there.
Yeah, that vocal thing is beautiful. But oh man, I mean, far out. There's so many I'm leaving out.
Yeah, it's an impossible question.
It is.
Keep them coming then. So Doyle Bramall for me.
Yeah, Jeff Beck.
John Mayer. I love John Mayer's guitar playing.
Yeah.
Obviously all our mates, Josh Smith, Kirk Fletcher, Matt Schofield.
Man.
All of those guys who have just a unique voice.
Yep. Ed O'Brien.
Yeah.
One of my favourites.
Yeah. Derek Trucks was a really good shout.
Just, for me, when I first heard Derek, it changed something in me. It's like, okay, that's something I didn't know that you could do on guitar.
Yeah.
Make it sing. I'd never
Tom
heard anyone sing
Bookerback,
like
for
that.
goodness sake. I mean, Tom's done
Tom!
more for my playing in the last 6 weeks than anybody.
I want everyone to go on Tom's thing and just say, hey, Tom, we really need to see you on that pedal show.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, everyone go on Tom Bukavac's. First of all, you need to go and subscribe to his channel because it's amazing.
He did
And-
give us a shout out one day.
Did he? Life is complete. Oh, man, I want to go and hang with that guy. Oh, wow. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Eric Gales,
Eric Gales.
blink and eck.
I mean, all right, players who start with G, Vince Gill. You know, it just there's joy in every guitar player who plays from the heart, isn't there?
Yeah,
And if you love guitar, you'll love it all, I think.
yeah, yeah, totally. It's just that thing that
Grissom,
David Grissom.
Gibbons.
Man, when I went through a period, probably last year, a massive Grissom period for like a month.
Blake
I just
Mills.
sat down and just watched everything he did online, all the live stuff, and he is
Oh, yeah.
so special. He's got this thing that is just. It's cool beyond words. It's so slick and tasty and greasy and it's unreal.
Yeah.
What an amazing guy.
Philip Sace.
Philip
I was
Sace.
listening to Philip this morning in the car again.
Yep.
Yeah. It's endless.
Yep.
It's endless.
And like seeing Andy Timmins live, there are only a handful of guitar players who've ever brought me to tears. And Andy's definitely,
Oh, I've seen a few.
yeah, but he for me, just sat there, listened to his sound.
Sorry, that was a really bad
And
covers gig gag. That's not how you play Highway to Hell.
Very good. Yeah, I just, he's in a
It's
whole other thing.
spectacular.
Far out.
Jeffrey Raddick. I'm thinking about getting a 2x12 cab, but I don't know what to look for. Closed, open, vertical, horizontal, slant, straight, wood type. Well, depends on the sounds you want, Jeffrey. Thank you for your donation, by the way. Have a think about some of the players that you like most and the sounds that they use. And I think that'd probably be a good place to start. Closed or open back, let's be reductive about it. If you play on stages and you want great projection, thumping low end, closed back. If you're in and around a house, you don't play so loud, or you play in smaller places and you want good sound dispersion, my personal favourite has always been open back cabinets.
Yeah.
They
just sound more consistent around the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wood type does make a massive difference, and construction type makes a massive difference.
You know what? It really does. It really does. I've got an old, actually it was a cab I bought off Handsome Dave. It was the
212
212 from
Marshall.
No, it wasn't the Marshall. No, well, there's that one,
Yeah.
and there's another one. It's an open back cab. This, it'll come to me in a minute. Anyway, I heard Dave play through that cab, and the Jet,
Yeah.
which is when I thought that's amazing, and I went and bought the Jet.
Right.
And I bought the same speakers that he had in that cab. It didn't sound anything like it. Put them back in that cab. It was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it will come to me.
While it is, the material makes a difference in terms of how much it resonates and at what frequency it resonates. So the standard classic birch ply construction for cabinets is what you will have heard in most cabinets down the years. Go back a bit, get into Fender amps that were made using pine, solid pine cabinets. They resonate very differently from a solid ply cabinet. And then a lot of modern cabinets, the cheaper cabinets you'll find are made from particle board, which some people really like and some people really don't like, because there's no resonance. There's not the classic resonance in the cabinet. So I would have a listen around to some of your favourite players and see what they use and start your search there. But let it be said, a speaker cabinet is definitely not a box with speakers in it. It's something that's been tuned, built by someone who knows what they're talking about, and can make all the difference.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Aaron Singh have you guys approached Brian May? Might be a good idea based around treble boosters and AC30s. Was recently in one of the mags voted #1 rock guitarist. He won't stop calling, to be honest. It's getting to be a bit,
I know.
Man, still owes me money.
Poor old Brian.
Could you imagine?
How great would it be to talk to Brian May?
I would burst into flames.
Yeah. I have a friend who used to work for them, you know.
Really?
Yeah. Was their kind of, I think she was their assistant.
Man.
Yeah, and she's super tight-lipped on all the stories.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
try and mine her for goss.
No way.
No way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, you know, of course. It'd be incredible. My name is Amra. Says, any contact with Madison Cunningham? She's so great. Saw her open for Andrew Bird last year and it was amazing. Musical brains, brawn, and so much spirit, soul. Yes, I mean, I've reached out. Hopefully, she is incredible. Would love to have her on the show. It's an open door. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah, totally. It's about availability and willing.
Yep.
Is what it's about. And you'd be surprised how many people are either one or neither of those things.
Yeah.
Andrew Nuttall, I've got a 40-watt Bloomfield drive combo by 2Rock, and I'm having trouble getting it to sound big on recordings, using an SM57 close and an iPhone for room. Suggestions for a gear or recording technique?
SM57 is great, but it's that mid-focused thing, isn't it? It's going to tighten up the bottom end and...
Yeah, I mean, it should sound big. Try moving the mic a little further away from the speaker. I know what you mean about it not sounding big.
Yeah. Biggest sound I've ever got from SM57 is right in the centre.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, up close, right in the centre.
So you're saying you're using the iPhone for the room recording. The iPhone will be messing about with phase and doing some really bad things.
Yeah, you need to move that around.
They do sound impressive, iPhones, but it's not really what you want. If I don't know if you have access to any more mics, but using either a space stereo pair, or if you have some nice mics, doing the mid-side thing, which is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That really does make a huge difference to the bigness of the sound.
Yeah.
A, because it immediately becomes stereo, and B, because you just have all that control. What the room mics tend to pick up is a load of bass resonance that you don't get out of a close mic.
Sure.
Failing that, turn the amp up, move the mic a bit further away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a dramatic bass roll off with a 57, something with a larger diaphragm would work. But yeah, I do know what you mean about a small sound.
But it's a classic rock sound. That sound, like in the mix, can sound amazing.
Yeah.
Matthew Anderson says, "G'day, lads from San Diego." San Diego. What's that?
Is that Anchorman?
Anchorman. It means Wales. No. The true meaning was lost years ago. Doesn't it mean Saint Diego? No. Asked in the last video, but would like to know if Mick or particularly Dan has tried the Magnetic Effects Solar Bender. Thoughts, and will it make it on the show? Hang on a minute.
Solar Myth we've got.
Solar Myth. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's that boy?
No, we would like to try that. Is that Magnetic Effects?
No, it's basic audio.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, would be great to try.
Yep, great to try it. It's 7:30.
Oh my God.
Actually,
Just wondering what pedal you would recommend to get a TS10 sound aside from a bonsai, says William Whitty.
apart from the TS10, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because they're quite hard to come by now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any of the modern tube screamer types that have variable EQ. So the characteristic of the TS10 for me is less gain, less compression, and slightly less mid hump.
Right.
So it's more like a normal overdrive pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to plug it in one day and see. Somebody very kindly sent us a replacement knob for this. And I think it was just before COVID kicked off. I put the stuff in the drawer and vowed to thank him.
Okay.
On air. Haven't done that yet. So
right.
I am remiss in not thanking this kind person for sending us the replacement knob.
The earthquake device plumes.
That is what I was thinking of
Yes,
when I was
from
saying.
Noise Code. Thanks, Noise Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one.
There you go. EQD plumes. There you go. There's your answer.
Cool.
I think that's us in it, Dad.
I think that's it.
Dad? I just called you Dad. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching. Yeah. Good. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Right then, everybody,
That's us.
be good. Stay healthy. Stay safe. We love you. Take care of each other. All that stuff.
I agree.
Thank
I
you
did
for
hear what
tuning in.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. This Friday's show is about volume.
Sweet, beautiful volume.
Fraser says it sounds weird
Really?
in parts. And he says at low volume, the bass breaker sounds better than the 2-rock.
No.
That's what I said in the room. That's what I said in the room.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that should be interesting. Yeah. And then
That is loud.
we are recording more shows on Wednesday. And I don't know about you, but we should take some medical advice on the Plexi screen.
Okay. Yeah, it was a bit weird recording with it.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And we spent most of the day together, not in that way. And if we haven't caught each other's diseases by now, not in that way, I think we should just stop. See ya.
Cheers, guys. Bye.